I could demo something. So at the holiday party or before the holiday party, Jonathan was showing me some interesting stuff people are doing with LLMs in other like spreadsheet type environments. And so I got psyched to sort of integrate an LLM with the calc stuff that we've had building. So um, building off some of the stuff that Nate and I have done in the past with like ChatGPT, and then teaming up with Jared for some design information. Took some time over the break to add like a new little natural language button here. Um, so like for example, I have first and last name in here, and I could just go in here and be like, create a full name column. Um, this, of course, has a reproducibility problem, so God knows if any of these demos are going to work, but it's been pretty consistent. So now, like you can see, it's taken the first and last name and concatenated them together. I can click on it and see what it's doing. You know, it's just a concat A1 B1 with a space in it. So that one worked pretty well. We try another one like extract domain from email. And let's see how it does on this one. Looks like it worked. So it wrote a little bit, you know, like this would be harder for me to write off the top of my head. So it actually is like a nice little accelerator here. And then for something maybe like a little more complicated, um, I've got states here. And I could say like provide a two-letter abbreviation for each state. This is it. I'm intending for this one to fail, by the way. So hopefully it will be reproducibly fail. I can see that it failed. It generated like kind of a weird thing here. It didn't do A1, 2. It did the whole column, but at the very least, it does give me some stuff to work with. So it told me that we couldn't, you know, create the formula, what the formula it tried to create was, and what the error was. Maybe this should work, but I blocked against it. So, but let me just create a new column, and I can just throw that in there, and I say like, oh, okay, well, what I wanted was this, and it gives me just the first two letters, which is not great because in the case of like Missouri and Minnesota, they're both MI. So I'm like, okay, well, that's actually not really what I wanted. So maybe I want to revise this and be like, okay, I know that how I would write this is with a really big if statement. So I can say like using an if provide typing the standard two-letter abbreviation for each state. And I think like telling it, well, I want you to use an if, and I want the standard two letters, not just any old two letters. Then it'll try and, you know, create a little bit closer to what I actually want, I think. Let's find out. Taking a little longer because it's a bigger thing to think about, I think. Maybe. All right. Well, so I got these look pretty good. AZ for Arizona. So I can check and see what it did. And it wrote this enormous if statement for me with each state and its abbreviation. So that's like exactly what I wanted. And, you know, saved me a bunch of time because although I could have written this, I really don't want to. So that one's a pretty cool use case. I think like the final thing to show here is that we added a get suggestions here. So if you're stuck and you're just kind of curious like what you could do, you can hit that get suggestions. It'll load up a handful of suggestions based on what you have here. They might not be great because I already extracted the domain from email here, but maybe it'll tell me like a full name column or, you know, something like that. So I've got some standard deviations, length of email. Here's your concat of first name, last name. So it tells you what the function is, or what the function it would create is, and I'll just do first name and last name again, just to show that you can click on those and they work. And you'll also notice that it creates a title for each calc. So I'm not manually titling all these calcs. It's like giving me a ballpark of what each one is, that I could always edit later. Anyway, that's the demo.
It is so cool, Richard. The suggestion bit is exactly what most people are asking for. That's amazing.
Yeah, they're really simple. I think that's my one problem is the suggestions right now are like, it's all just like count or average or whatever. And I don't know if is that what people want, or do people want like a more robust series of those?
I feel like from at least in the field, like the people who are asking for this are for simple people with simple questions.
It's probably just helpful to see examples of like the syntax too. That might actually be the thing to optimize for, is to show like a variety of different kinds of examples, like between aggregates and string parsing and that sort of thing.
Yeah, like a moving average, just kind of shove it in.
Yeah, something statistical would be cool.
Yeah, we could always get more specific. Right now, I'm literally like just saying like, given these fields, like what are some things, but we could always say cool. Like if there's specific fields or specific kinds of things we want, we could always make it a lot more specific, I think.
Or even just like show me statistical calculations, show me string operations, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But even what you were showing, like Jonathan and I were looking at it super quickly yesterday, thinking about SDR, like outbound list building, marketing, list cleanup, all that kind of stuff. Like there's so many use cases and people that could help even as is, because that is painful.
Yeah, I'd only say just make the suggestion toggle a little bit more like pronounced